In my experience, the number one reason why kids struggle to engage with and enjoy maths is low confidence working with numbers. Now, imagine trying to play basketball but not knowing how to dribble. You'd constantly be embarrassed, you'd be worried about making simple mistakes, and you'd be spending so much time and energy focusing on this skill that should have been automated that you won't be able to look up and see the bigger picture. You won't be able to see opportunities and be creative. And the same is true with maths. A lot of kids don't know how to multiply, and so they struggle with area, they struggle with percentages, they struggle with financial maths, they struggle with scaling a drawing, with changing a recipe, with algebra, you name it. Multiplication's connected. And so it's any wonder that kids feel this way about maths. The good news is I've got some strategies and activities to get your students multiplying better than this couple. The trouble with a lot of teaching on multiplication is it will either focus on a bunch of fancy tricks, which, 3 times 9 is 27, which removed from any understanding, it remains a trick. It's not a strategy. And so for kids, it's either you're insider or you're an outsider. You know the trick or you don't. The other thing it focuses on is rote recall of facts. Now, I'm not a big fan of rote learning normally. However, in the case of multiplication, I think there are some things we're going to use so often that it's just worth learning. So, for example, the word the. If we haven't learned how to spell that by heart, writing an essay is going to be a very frustrating and slow experience if we have to spell check that every time we come across it. I think the same is true with multiplication. However, rote learning by itself is pretty useless. It's not going to transfer to other knowledge or to bigger numbers or different situations. And so our job as a teacher is to help our students learn multiplication in a way that they can solve any multiplication problem. And that's where strategies come in. Now, strategies aren't that, trick idea. It's stuff that they understand so well at the core that they can fall back on it and use it to solve other things. So use what they do know to find out what they don't. And to do that, they'll need to notice things. Now, you may have noticed that my t-shirt says the word cool, but I've also designed it to say something else when you look in the mirror. And so this is what I want to help you to do in this tutorial, is to notice things and help your learners notice things that will help them. This is Zachary. He's looking pretty happy with himself because he's just completed the 20 card dash in 24 seconds. Now this is pretty impressive given that 15 minutes earlier he did that same task in 4 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, what it is, the task is just to multiply 20 different cards by a focus number. So in his case, it was the sevens. So you draw the first card, 9 sevens. Once he says the answer, 63, move to the next card, 4 sevens, 28, 3 sevens. And what I would do as I was sitting beside the kids I was working with is I would draw out some information that they knew to help them with stuff that they didn't. So for example, if Zachary was stuck on 7 lots of 6, I'd maybe pull out that card and say, you knew this, what was this? And then Zachary would discover the strategy to use to get to something you didn't know. And again, that's what it's about. It's about using what you do know to find out what you don't, about noticing things. And so I understand that teachers aren't often working one-on-one with kids, you just can't. And so I've created a set of cards with icons on them. And those icons are strategy prompts to get kids thinking about what strategy they might use when they get stuck. And we're going to go through all of these strategies in this multiplication masterclass. See you in the next video.